central part of Australia's transportation landscape in 2025, and the charging infrastructure that supports them is evolving rapidly. For years, the biggest concern for Australians thinking about switching from petrol or diesel to electric power was the availability of reliable charging stations. Now, the situation has changed significantly. With government initiatives, private sector investment, and increasing consumer demand, EV charging across the country has reached a point where it is no longer just a niche option but a mainstream necessity. In this review, we will take a complete look at how EV charging stands in Australia in 2025, covering charging infrastructure, types of chargers, accessibility, costs, technology integration, and how it all affects daily drivers as well as long-distance travelers. In 2025, Australia has thousands of public charging stations across major cities, regional towns, and highways. The rollout has been spearheaded by networks like ChargeFox, EV, Tesla Superchargers, BP Pulse, and new players entering the market. Each of these networks has been steadily expanding, making sure that long road trips between states are no longer a risky proposition for EV owners. For instance, highways between Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane now have ultra-fast charging stations spaced within 150 to 200 kilometers, ensuring that even mid-range EVs can handle the journey comfortably. This accessibility is making EV ownership practical for more Australians, whether they live in metro areas or regional communities. There are three main types of charging options available in Australia in 2025. The first is home charging, which remains the most convenient method. Most EV owners install a wall box at home, which provides AC charging at 7 kilowatts or 11 kilowatts. While slower compared to public fast charging, it is reliable and allows cars to charge overnight. The second option is public AC chargers, often found in shopping centers, hotels, and workplaces. These are suitable for topping up while doing errands or during the workday. The third, and most transformative, are DC fast chargers, which can deliver 50 kilowatts, 150 kilowatts, and even up to 350 kilowatts of power depending on the station and vehicle compatibility. These chargers can replenish up to 80% of a battery in less than 30 minutes, a game changer for people on long trips or who do not have home charging options. One of the biggest advantages of 2025 is the rise of ultra-fast chargers. More vehicles now support 800 volts architectures, allowing them to charge at lightning speeds. This technology, once limited to luxury EVs, is becoming more accessible in mainstream models. As a result, charging times are dropping drastically, bringing the EV experience closer to the convenience of filling up a petrol car. However, availability of these high-powered chargers is still concentrated on highways and major city centers, meaning rural drivers may rely more on slower AC chargers. Cost is another crucial part of the EV charging discussion in Australia. Home charging remains the cheapest option, particularly for people who use solar panels to offset electricity costs. Many households with rooftop solar take advantage of charging during the day when excess solar energy would otherwise be exported back to the grid at low rates. Public charging, on the other hand, varies widely. AC chargers are often free or relatively cheap, especially when provided by shopping centers as a perk for customers. Fast DC charging typically costs between 40 to 70 cents per kilowatt-hour in 2025. This means a full charge for a mid-sized EV with a 60 kilowatt-hours battery could cost around $30 at a public charger. While this is higher than charging at home, it is still cheaper than filling up a tank of petrol for the same driving range. Subscription models are also becoming popular, with companies offering discounted charging rates for a monthly fee, making it more predictable for frequent users. Payment systems have improved as well. In the past, different apps, cards, and accounts created confusion. In 2025, most networks are adopting universal payment methods, including simple credit card tap and go systems. Plug-and-charge technology, where the car itself communicates with the charger and handles billing automatically, is becoming more common. This has streamlined the user experience, eliminating the need for multiple apps and logins. Government policy has been a major driver behind the growth of EV charging infrastructure. Federal and state governments have allocated billions of dollars in funding and grants to ensure nationwide coverage. Incentives for installing chargers in businesses and apartment complexes have increased, addressing one of the major challenges of urban EV ownership. Apartment residents, who previously struggled to access reliable charging, now benefit from shared charging facilities in many modern developments. Moreover, Highway charging corridors have been prioritized to make long-distance EV travel possible across the continent. From a technology perspective, 2025 is also seeing smart charging becoming mainstream. Smart charging systems allow EVs to communicate with the grid, charging during off-peak hours when electricity is cheaper and more sustainable. Vehicle-to-grid V2G technology is in its early stages of adoption in Australia, allowing EV owners to feed electricity back into the grid during peak times. This not only supports grid stability but also creates a potential income stream for EV owners. The integration of renewable energy with EV charging is another key trend. Many charging stations are now powered directly by solar and wind energy, aligning with Australia's broader goals of reducing emissions and transitioning to cleaner energy sources. For consumers, the experience of charging an EV in Australia in 2025 is vastly different from just a few years ago. Range anxiety has diminished significantly as networks expand and charging reliability improves. Apps provide real-time updates on charger availability, prices, and estimated charging times. Navigation systems in cars now integrate EV charging routes seamlessly, suggesting optimal stops based on driving habits and battery status. This makes road trips far easier to plan and execute. Despite the progress, challenges remain. Charging in remote areas of Australia is still limited, creating barriers for those living in sparsely populated regions. Installation of home chargers in older apartment complexes or rental properties continues to be an issue. Grid capacity is also under pressure as EV adoption rises, though smart charging and renewable integration are helping to manage demand. Additionally, charging speeds still depend heavily on the capabilities of the car itself, meaning that not all drivers can take full advantage of the fastest chargers. Looking ahead, the next few years are likely to bring even more innovation. Wireless charging technology is being tested in pilot programs, potentially removing the need for cables altogether. Battery swapping, while not yet popular in Australia, may emerge as a solution for commercial fleets. As battery technology improves, with higher energy density and faster charging chemistries, the overall charging experience will continue to improve. In conclusion, EV charging in Australia in 2025 has reached a point where it supports mainstream EV adoption. With a growing network of public fast chargers, improved home charging solutions, affordable options, and government support, driving an electric vehicle is now a realistic choice for most Australians. The combination of technology, policy, and consumer demand is reshaping the transport landscape, making the transition to cleaner, quieter, and more efficient mobility possible. While challenges remain in regional accessibility and infrastructure expansion, the progress so far is impressive. For anyone considering an EV in 2025, Australia's charging infrastructure is strong enough to provide confidence that the switch from petrol to electric is not only practical but also beneficial economically and environmentally.